Today in my kitchen we are going to make gluten-free vegan bread that tastes absolutely delicious. It slices really well, you can freeze it, you can toast it, and it doesn't have any nasties in it, it's got no gums in it, and you can make it at home. It's going to change the way that you make gluten-free bread forever. It's also vegan, so I'm not using eggs in it, which is quite common in gluten-free bread. So let's go take a look and see how we make the best gluten-free vegan bread. So one of the first things you need to know, and quite importantly, if you're not making bread with wheat or spelt, then you're going to use gluten-free flours, and you need several of those to mimic the action of wheat. So because we haven't got gluten, we need something a little bit gummy and gluey. So I'm going to use oats for that. And then we need other flours that have different properties. Maybe they're a little bit more crumbly, but a combination of, I'm going to use 4 today, make the perfect gluten-free vegan bread. I've actually written a whole load about that on my website. If you follow the link, I've just got loads of information on there, so please do go take a peek there as well. I'm just going to show you how to make the bread. The first flour I'm going to use is 150 grams of buckwheat flour, and then I'm going to use 100 grams of oats. You can use oat flour if you want, but you don't really need to. Just use regular rolled oats. And then I've got 75 grams of rice flour. You can use white rice flour or you can use brown rice flour. I use them interchangeably. They're near enough similar in what they're going to do within the recipe. And the last flour that we're going to put in is maize meal. If you are in the UK, it is called maize meal. If you're tuning in from the USA, it is called corn flour. So UK get maize meal, USA corn flour. I've got a whole article about that. If you're in the UK, maize meal is not the same as corn flour. And the other ingredients we want are 2 teaspoons of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar, 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and then the final dried ingredient, we're going to use ideally dried active yeast. You can also use quick yeast or instant yeast as well. I've got a couple of different types here. You want a teaspoon of that. Now they're not all created equally, so you might get one and it's not very good. One of my favourite ones is Alison yeast that we get here in the UK. It's often better to get a really well-known brand. I'm also using Dove's Farm, which is an alternative there. And then I'm going to get 525 millilitres of tepid water. So when I say tepid, I want it to be nice and warm, but not too ridiculously hot. Then I'm going to pour that in. So you just want to mix that until everything is evenly combined. And then when it's done, you want to get a nice clean tea towel, put it over the top. That just stops any bits of dust getting in. And just leave it in a nice warm place for 1 hour. I'm going to set my timer for that. That is going to allow it to dance and prove, do a little bit of divine alchemy. And one of the secrets about making gluten-free vegan bread is that you don't need to knead it. So with traditional wheat bread, you knead it, you do all this kind of kneady action. Absolutely, you don't need it at all, because one of the secrets about making the best gluten-free vegan bread is that you're actually creating a batter with it as well. So that means it's ridiculously simple to make. The only effort required is just making sure you get the ingredients right, follow the recipe to the letter, and then it should work really, really well. I've done this a gazillion times now, but you really do have to follow the instructions quite carefully. There's not a whole lot of room for playing and exploring, which I do encourage in my other recipes. So after an hour, you can see That is nice and bubbly. There's loads of air in there. In fact, if you look really closely, you can see it moving. That's done its magic, that's done its alchemy. The other thing that I want to mention is that if you like this recipe, you're gonna absolutely love the other things I have to offer. I've got some online courses. I've got gluten-free, vegan, easy meals, and I've also got the magical life of salads. They're gonna sort of transform your experience of making gluten-free vegan food that embraces optimal health. So if you like this, do go take a peek and check them out. That's done its magic, that's done its alchemy. And then I'm going to put it in my lined oven-proof loaf dish. This is a 2 pound or 1 kilo loaf dish. You can get an oven-proof glass loaf tin, or you can get a metal one. Use whatever you have available, they work in the same way. And then line it with baking paper, also called parchment paper. And then I'm just going to pop this in, and you can see how airy that is. Oh, that's amazing. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And the amazing thing about this bread is no kneading. You don't need to knead it. You're effectively making a batter. Just spread it out so it's nice and even there. And then you're going to cover that again and then leave it for half an hour now, and then we're going to bake it in the oven. That's been resting or proving for 30 minutes, and look at that, it's risen again. So now we're going to put it in a preheated oven for 35 minutes. The temperature is going to depend on your oven because all ovens are slightly different, so tweak it accordingly. I'd suggest 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 390 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit if you have a fan oven. 220 degrees Celsius if it's not a fan, that's about 420 degrees Fahrenheit. There we go, it's all done. So you want to take it out the oven. It's really important now to let it cool down. If you want it to slice perfectly without crumbling, then let it cool down. Because it's gluten-free bread, not just that, it's gluten-free vegan bread, it will crumble a little bit if you want to slice it when it's right out the oven or warm. That still works fine, it won't crumble too much, but if you want it to slice to perfection, let it cool down. Look at that amazing crust, it's got a proper crust on it. And this gluten-free vegan bread is so springy and airy. You can use your gluten-free vegan bread for sandwiches. This is great if you slice it when your bread is cool. You'll be able to slice it thinner as well. You can make closed sandwiches with it, open sandwiches with it. It's brilliant for dunking in soup. You can make toast with it and put your favourite toppings on. That works amazingly, and you can even freeze it. So let me know what you do with yours. Just go down to the comments, let me know how you get on. If you've got any questions, please ask. If you like this recipe, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If there's anything you're not sure about, ask a question in the comments. If you know anyone else who would like this, please share it and let those ripples spread outwards and let me know what you think, because that helps me to gauge what you want, what you like, and I'm really happy to share more when I know that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.